beautiful people. How are you? It's me, Josie the Yogi. Welcome to our service. As I promised, I wanted to bring a new service to this channel, to the space. And the service is a service of calm, a service of relaxation, a service of peace. This is just a way for us to connect and reconnect with ourselves, and meet up and read some scriptures and just connect and get back in touch with who we truly are. So I love using my rattle. It really helps me connect. And also love using the singing bowl. So we're going to read a few scriptures. And we're going to do some chanting. So today I want to read. Last week we read Sutra 1.2, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and that's when we talked about the stilling, the changing states of our mind, and which is the whole point of yoga. This week is tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. Tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. Tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. Tada means then, at that point. Drastuh, of the seer, of the soul. Svarupe, in its own real essential nature, and vasthanam, which is abiding or remaining or being absorbed in. So tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam means when that is accomplished, the seer abides in its true nature. So when the sensations, when we still the sensations of our mind, then we are able to abide in our true nature, which is our spirit. So I know that was a little complicated. I just wanted to make sure I pronounced the words properly, because the pronunciation also affects the way we speak it, and then also affects the way we receive it, and knowing the meaning of it is also important. So I will read Sutra 1.3 one more time. Tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. Tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. Tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. When that is accomplished, the seer abides in its own true nature. And, you know, our true nature refers to the soul. In Hindu thought, you know, there's many different definitions for the soul. But according to Patanjali, it's the Atman. Or the Purusha, which is the spirit. But Patanjali uses drastuh, the seer, or which is the one who sees. Have you ever been so upset that you were crying, and you were yelling, or you were just in a state of high emotion? And have you ever experienced, when you've been in that state, the fact that you can observe yourself being in that state? If you ever experienced yourself crying, or you can see yourself being upset, you can see yourself, like I've been so upset where I'm like having a nervous breakdown or something, and I can like watch myself having a nervous breakdown. Like there's something in me that is totally calm, that's not having a nervous breakdown, that is totally aware of what's going on and present, that is watching me. That is me. So that is the seer. So no matter what state you may be in, there is always a state in you, your true nature, that is not affected by those changing states, that is not affected by emotion, that is not emotional, that is constantly still and constantly present and constantly observing everything. And if we get in touch with that, that is our true self. Not the one who's freaking out and having a nervous breakdown, but the one who's observing me freaking out and having a nervous breakdown. If that makes sense. I know it does. It's hard to explain. But Patanjali really explains it here. The Purushas are, it's not the same as your sight, like your gross sight that you have with your eyes. It's not a physical organ, the Purusha, but it's like a metaphor. It's a consciousness. It's consciousness itself. It's intelligence itself, right? I remember as a child when I would close my eyes and then I would see nothing but darkness. I was like, what is that? And then I would start speaking and I'm like, well, where is that coming from? Who is that? Like, that's consciousness. And like, that's why I was so excited to know yoga, because I've always wanted to know where I was coming from. And my true self, no matter what is going on, is always here. It's always, no matter what you're going through, there's always that little voice in your head that says, come on, really? You're really doing this right now? You're really breaking down like this? Come on, we don't have to do this. We don't have to, come on. That's you. But our experiences of reality is under control of our mind, right? Our consciousness. So in our thinking processes. So if we eliminate our thoughts, then it's like Patanjali says, it's like suicide. I know we can't say that word, the S word. It's like what happens to yourself if you remove your thoughts, if you no longer identify with your thoughts. That can be hard. And some of us, we kind of lose it when we start this process of non-attachment, of non-duality, of disconnecting from the thoughts. What happens to the self, the Purusha, when the mind is void of content? Like, who are you? Because our identity is made up of all of our thoughts. And every time we identify with a thought, like, we are reborn, like we spoke of. But if you choose not to identify with those thoughts, are you born? Are you here? Do you even exist? And that's where a lot of us get stuck, because we identify so much with our thoughts that sometimes it's hard to let go, because it's like letting go of ourselves. It's like dying to our ideas, to what we thought was true, to what we thought and believed in. Someone comes and tells you, hey, I don't like how you're talking to me. That's very hurtful. Or your belief is very hurtful towards me, to me. And maybe you had this belief for a long, long time. And the idea of letting go of that belief can be hard, especially if it's a belief that protects you. It makes you feel safe. But if you realize that it's not helping you have that belief anymore, it can be hard to let go of it, and it can feel like you're dying, like you're no longer going to be safe, because some of our identities are built up to keep us safe. Does the Purusha soul remain as pure consciousness that is conscious only of itself? Does it remain unconscious like a log of wood, becoming conscious only when confronted by a state of mind as held by the followers of the Nyaya school? Or does it cease to exist like a lamp on the destruction of the wick as held by the followers of the Carvaka school? So what happens to the Purusha? Like I said, does it remain pure? Does it remain unconscious? Or does it cease to exist when we stop identifying with our thoughts? I mean, but what Patanjali is saying is the states of our mind that we go through, the constant changing, fluctuating states of our mind, are what keeps us in identity, identifying with other identities. But once we free ourselves from the association with the states of our mind, then the soul can abide in its own nature. So what it's saying is, once we disidentify, like, I am poor, I am rich, I am nice, I am good, I am bad, I am a doctor, I am a lawyer, I am a dropout, I am a loser, I am fat, I am skinny, I am good, I am, once we disidentify with these thought processes, these labels, because none of it matters, none of it really means anything, because we, at the end of the day, are our true self. We are pure consciousness. But once we no longer associate ourselves with identities, then we can abide in our true nature. I remember, for example, I'm Haitian. And I used to get really offended, like if I heard people saying something about Haitian people, it used to get me riled up. I would be like, oh my God, they're saying something about Haitians, oh my God. And it would like affect me and hurt me. And then I would get into an argument, and then it would be like, because I was so offended. And then I started learning about yoga. And then I started one of the first things I started disassociating with, cease associating myself with, was labels. And one of those labels is I'm Haitian. So yeah, I was born in Haiti, and I'm Haitian. I'm proud to be Haitian, but that's not the entirety of who I am. And what another Haitian does not define who I am. But if I would be in a place where I felt like Haitians, were not liked too much, I would start arguing with those people. I would literally start arguments with those people, and we would be arguing for probably days, and we would probably never be friends again. And I realized that it wasn't helping me at all. It wasn't helping Haitian people. It wasn't helping me. It wasn't helping the situation. I was too identified. So once I stopped identifying, I am Haitian, you can say whatever. It's not going to get a response from me. And most people might look at that like, damn, that's like dying. So you're going to let anybody just say anything to you or about you, and you're not going to defend yourself? No, that's not what that means. It means that I don't have to identify with whatever label that someone else is trying to put on me. If they could be sitting there saying, oh, this Haitian, she stank, or she this, or she that, and do I have to listen to that? Do I have to even acknowledge them? No. If that's not, they're not talking about me, because my pure self is none of those things that they're saying. Who I truly am is none of those things. That's a label. That's an identity I choose to identify with. And so it's just one of my many identities. But it's not me. It's a costume that I wear. But it's not who I am. And my purest self at the root, at the core of me, that's not me. That is just a part of me. And so I'm not saying this to saying this to allow you, to make you go into situations where you will be abused or talked about or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying is our identities usually hold us back, because the minute we feel like that identity is threatened, we will jump into action to protect that identity. And it can be distracting us from other things that we need to be doing. So, that being said, like, you're not putting me in danger, you're just calling me, Haitian. That's not putting me in danger. That's an opinion that you have about Haitian people based on your interactions with Haitian people, and that has nothing to do with me. And that can go for a number of other subjects. But that's just going to say, when we cease associating ourselves with these fluctuating states of our minds, these identities, then we can abide in our natural state, which is pure consciousness. And that's what I'm trying to say. And that's our sermon for today. Sorry, I'm messing with y'all. But yeah, that's Yoga Sutra 1.3. Yes, Yoga Sutra 1.3, and that is tada, drastuh, svarupe, vasthanam. When that is accomplished, the seer abides in its own true nature. So when you stop letting those identities, those labels define you, you are now abiding in your true nature. So don't go talking about Haitians now. That's not what I'm trying to say. Haitians have their flaws. I had a post earlier about this week about individuals thinking they're better or something because they're Haitian and they come from another country. And I've seen this where individuals talk trash about Black Americans and say, well, we got this, we got that, we just got here, how come you don't? And I think that's so ignorant. And that's part of the reason I don't associate with any label, because people are just too proud and too prideful that they don't care who they hurt. And I just don't want to be associated with that. And, I just don't have that much pride. There's nothing to be that proud of for you to think that you're better than anyone or above anybody at all. And I don't think that any Haitian or any foreigner is above any African American, because if it wasn't for African Americans, none of us would be able to walk the streets of America. None of us would be able to be here. So I give it up to Black Americans, and I'm proud to be Black before I'm anything. So that's that. I used to get offended when people talk about Haitians. I used to get offended when people talk about Black people. I used to get offended when people talk about women. I used to get offended when people talk about people with locks. I used to get offended when people talk anything that I chose to identify with. I used to get offended if I felt like that identity was being threatened. So our identities are important. But if we are too attached to our identities, then they can be like the catalyst or it can be used to kind of control you and control your emotions and your reactions. So just be careful. So that is Sutra 1.4. And so. Take a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Imagine a staircase leading down into your belly. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel your spontaneous breath moving in and out of your nostrils. Picture the staircase. Picture it going down all the way into your belly as you inhale the next breath. As you exhale, imagine yourself walking down the staircase. Continue allowing your breath to move freely and spontaneously in and out of your body. But as you walk down the staircase, you can choose to sit at the top of the stairs, take a break, or if you like, you can turn the lights on. Just start walking down the stairs slowly. Keep walking. Go as far as you feel comfortable. Keep going. Stay there as long as you like. Gam Ganapataye Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye